Hi, thanks for watching today. I'm going to do November favorites and fails. I started out with a really small number of products out and I was like, okay, let's not just talk about the new stuff I picked up this month. Let's talk about what I've really been using and the type of makeup I've been wearing for the majority of this month. So thanks for watching. If you're curious, I will leave whatever products that I tried this month linked in the description box below if you want to see like try on or reviews of those products. All right, let's jump right into it. I didn't wear like a ton of makeup this month. There are some months where I feel like I wore a lot of makeup, and it's not that I didn't wear a lot of makeup. I wore makeup most days, but I wasn't wearing a ton. I was wearing like a really light wash. Just a little bit of concealer, powder, blush, and lip gloss, and boom, out the door. So there was a lot of really minimal makeup days. For those really throw a little makeup on and quickly get out the door, I have been reaching again for my Salt New York palette. These are all Creme products that come in this beautiful magnetized palette. It's got a nice mirror in here. The zipper is amazing. Like, I love everything about this, but I've been using the contour. I've been using this blush. This blush is in Rose, and then the highlight in Pearl. I love something that is just, you know, like just barely. It's pretty, it's not too much, and you could really pack it on if you want, but it looks really, you know, glowy and skin-like on those days. This rose shade is gorgeous. It blends out beautifully. I really like these. The one thing I don't like about these is that I feel like you can see it a little bit here. You see how it's kind of shiny, where before it looked a little bit more matte. I feel like there's a layer that dries on the top. You put your finger in it, it starts to melt down again, but there is a slight textural change. If I were to use them daily, they would always look like this, but I don't use them every day because they got so much. But I like the colors in this palette. I like the ease of use, and it's like finger paints. They go on boom, boom, boom. So on days that I am wearing really minimal makeup, like the salt stuff, I'll just throw on a little Glossier stretch concealer, a little bit of my favorite powder that I can't stop reaching for. It's the Glossier Wowder. The first time I tried it, I loved the formula. They didn't have a shade light enough for my skin tone. They do now. This is shade G11, G12, but this powder is fantastic. My only pet peeve is I don't like the ones that have that little bouncy mesh net in here, and that's what this has. Okay, fine. So that's my only complaint. I love the way it sets my under eyes without looking heavy, and not every powder I have I can use under my eyes. And then I set usually like forehead, nose, and chin, and I'm off to the races with the rest of my Creme products. But I do use this a lot on my face. I just can't stop reaching for it. It's really good for the way that I like to wear powder, which is almost undetectable. So on the days that I just have my T-zone set and I'm going more for Creme products, I've been loving just blush. I won't do contour, I won't do bronzer, I'll do just blush and highlight. And I do that a lot in the winter where I just kind of stop with the bronzer. I just kind of lean into my paleness. And I have been loving, again, this is no secret, this is the So Soft blush from M Cosmetics. This is the shade Venetian Rose. It's beautiful. It's a pretty mauve-y, kind of, you know, appropriate for the cooler months. But then it blends out to just absolutely gorgeous. And I feel like it has enough depth in it that I don't really feel like I need bronzer or contour. And I have been loving kind of more of those rosier tones. I love that. Another type of color that I've been reaching for is something a little bit deeper and more red tone. This is from Rituel. This is one of their Color Nectar Pigment Balms. This is the shade Bloodflower. I fell in love with this earlier this year, and it looks pretty intense, and you would think that somebody as fair as me, what are you doing? But when you blend it out, it looks like this. I mean, it's not quite as deep as this, and you could of course, you know, blend the M out even a little bit more and just kind of lighten it up. But I love how this, you can, you know, build it up if you want to, but I like how light it is, a light wash. It's gorgeous. It really does give that kind of in from the cold look to your cheeks. And then I'll pair kind of like a slightly rosy, very red leaning with a full color on my lips. Oh, I love This has been a real favorite. And the other one that I've really been liking is the one from Natasha Denona. This is the Puff Paint, and this is the deepest shade in Bloom. This is definitely more of that kind of berry tone, but when you blend it out, oh, that's a lot more than I needed. Danger, danger. If you're fair, you have to be careful with this one. So blend it out on me. This is how I blend it out. It applies really bold, but then it turns kind of into a slightly cooler toned, where, you know, warmer and even more neutral. This has a little bit more brown in it, this has a little bit more red in it, and this has a little bit more kind of purpley blue in it. But I love these kind of deeper, especially on my cheeks for wintertime. It really gives me that in from the cold sort of look. I have been loving those. Now, if I am not wearing a cream product and I want just blush, I can't stop with the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow. I have two of the three they have. This one here is in Venetian Rose, and this one here is in Magic Hour. So I've used more of this one because I've had this one longer. They have a little bit of a satiny finish to them. They glow beautifully. You don't need a highlight when you wear these, but I really like these. So on the days that I'm wearing a powder product and I've set my whole face, I'll reach for one of those as a blush. Sometimes I don't want to wear blush. Sometimes all I want to do is wear bronzer and contour, and that's where I've been reaching for the Wayne Goss. I did not know how much I was going to love this. So the contour shade, and this bronzer looks like a bronzer, but it also works as just a blush. And it also has, you know, that slightly more radiant finish to it. It's not shimmery. It just looks skin-like. I love both of these. So there are days where I'll wear just blush and highlight, and then there are days that I'll wear just bronzer and highlight. So I really have been reaching for that a lot. The highlight that I got that's new to my collection this month was this. This is a Sunscape highlight from M Cosmetics. It's beautiful. This is the lightest shade in Clarity. All right, so it is that baked formula, just like the baked blushes. And it's very, very, very metallic. I've really been enjoying this highlight. It's super glowy, it's super pretty. I don't really feel like it accentuates any texture I have, and the sort of texture I do have, if I get too low on my cheek here, I have some of that larger pore orange peel texture kind of in this area. But if I get it too close to the eye, I feel like sometimes highlights can really accentuate my smile lines. I want to make sure that if I'm wearing a powder highlight, because I don't usually have this problem with cream highlights, but if I'm using a powder highlight, I don't want things to settle in this area. And I feel like this stays where I put it. It's lightweight. It kind of buffs to perfection. I really like it. I think it's a great formula. Products for the face. I still love my Glossier concealer. I still really enjoy the one from Lancome, the new one, the Teint Idole Ultra. I feel like this is a great one. But I am not able to stop wearing this. Can you see that, like, part of the writing is wearing off because I'm using this constantly? This is new to my collection, but not a new product. This is the Double Wear Radiant Concealer from Estee Lauder. I have the lightest shade in 0.5N. It is a thicker product, and normally thick makes me go, danger, 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 and this is beautiful. It feels like a thicker, more whipped texture, and it gives me probably more coverage than the rest of what I have. But what I really, because like, that's some coverage. What I really like about this is if I want to blend it, like say under my eyes and not wear foundation, I just want to wear this, I can get it to blend. It takes a little bit of time because it's a heavier concealer, from where it's heavy duty all the way down to where it's hard to see where the product ends and my natural skin begins. And it doesn't always have to be like this. So it blends really nicely under here. I like that it has that whipped kind of creamy consistency. It doesn't really accentuate my under eyes. And I would think like a heavier, thicker concealer like this would do that. It doesn't. It's beautiful. I really like it. I can't stop reaching for it. And you really need the smallest amount. Like you pull the doe foot out once, you know, a couple of dots here. I can dot everywhere that I normally have redness around the nose. I have some hyperpigmentation on my chin from acne. And then I have darkness here and my sunspot here. and boom, just pulling the doe foot out once, dotting it around carefully without using, and there's still a ton more left on that doe foot. I just don't want to over apply, and it blends beautifully. I feel like we have to talk about something. And it comes down to me, it's almost like the makeup elephant in the room. And it's this. It's the foundation from Lisa Eldridge. I like this foundation. The one thing that's keeping me from loving this foundation is the price point. If you want to see the entire review, I will link it for you in the box below. But here's the deal. The reason I don't love this is the price. And for me, this is where I remind you that I will pay a crazy price for a lipstick, you know, $60, $70 for a lipstick and be like, oh, I'm treating myself. But I don't do that with foundation. I feel like foundation is more workhorse and less frivolous. And for me, a lipstick is more frivolous. And I will let myself spend like crazy amounts of money on something that seems like frivolous and fun. But when it's going to be a workhorse product, I need you to deliver. And I want you to have value. And I'm not saying that there's no value in this, because there is. So here's what I like about it. First of all, I feel like it has the best skin tone match out of any complexion product in my entire collection. Because from here all the way down to here, like my foundation stops right here at the jawline, but you can't tell. I can't tell. I don't know, maybe you can tell. If you do, let me know down below. But I feel like it's the best skin tone match on me out of anything in my collection. I love that. The other thing is it looks like skin. I don't feel like it looks like I'm wearing a ton of foundation, and that's what I want. The other problem that a lot of more radiant foundations, and I'm not saying this is radiant, but it does tend to have a little glow midway through the day on my combo skin, is that products will tend to collect in my expression lines here, 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 and in the corners of my mouth. And that doesn't happen with this. If I set those areas, and I set all the other foundations that I have, they still kind of collect there. This doesn't do it. And is it a good? Yes, I think it's pretty. I like that it has a place for my thumb right here where I can hold on to it. I also like, and I won't pump it out because I don't want to waste any more of it, is that this pump gives me like about half of what most other products would give you. They all have a larger amount that comes out in the pump. I love that this one pump is like half of what I normally get out of the rest of my foundations. And the truth is I only use about half of what I get out of my rest of my foundations, and then it gets wiped off and thrown away. So I like that I'm only using what comes out in a single pump. I feel like that's great, and it does make my dollars go a little farther because I'm not wasting anything. I like the way that it looks. I like that it lays flat. Like, there's a lot of beautiful things about it. But the price. So I'm not going to say that this is like a favorite, because I can't, the price. But have I been using it? Almost every day. Does it look good on my skin? Yeah, it does. But I don't want you to feel like you need this $61 foundation. There's a lot of other great foundations out there that are drugstore, that are even high-end in the $40 range, that are not this expensive. Is it beautiful? Yes. Have I been using it? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. I just can't love it with my whole heart because the price just makes me go, I did what? All right. I still love my Lancome mascaras, the Adol, the Monsieur Big. I still love the one from M because it's so easy to take off at the end of the day. But one that I found myself reaching for a lot this month, and it really surprises me because I've tried a different formula from this brand that didn't work for me. What's this? It's the Essence Lash Princess. This is the Curl and Volume. I tried the lengthening one, the one that's green that looks just like this, and everybody loved it so much and it flaked on me. I don't know. I haven't had any problem with this flaking, with this transferring, with this smudging. This has been great. I also really am getting very strong Monsieur Big vibes from this. It's a big fluffy wand. It's slightly hourglass. You can really build. But the one thing that I like that this does that my more expensive one from Lancome doesn't do is that when I pull out the Lancome one, the first swipe, I've got like a ton of product on there. And I either have to go in with a clean spoolie or a lash brush and just kind of really like clean it off. This is really light and wispy and buildable. It can be really soft. One layer is soft. One layer of this is like boom. But I feel like this has that ability to be variable. If you need a softer look, or if you want all the mascara and all the lashes, I can get this built up to look like this, but this does it on the first swipe. And I have to like, okay, spoolie, clean spoolie this through, take some of it off. And on the days that I don't want to work that hard, I reach for this. And this is really inexpensive at the drugstore. It's a really beautiful mascara formula. And I wasn't sure that I was going to love something as much as my old favorite, but this is what now, $26? Everything's more expensive these days. Most of this month, I have not been wearing a lot of eyeshadow. If on the days that I pull out this Wayne Goss, I will use these shades on my eyes and be done. Or one shade on my eyes and be done. And on those days when I'm wearing kind of like bronzer in the crease, this is the one thing I have been reaching for a lot. This is the Cosmic Pearl Dewy Eyeshadow from M Cosmetics. I do have a beef with it, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, but I love this. I remember when I first put my finger in here and I swirled it around and it looked like this. I was like, what? And you can get like really, really metallic instant pigment from this. It's $26. All right. I don't like paying $26 for a single, but I can't say no to that. I love it. So I would put a little bronzer in the crease, a little bit of this on and blend it out. Beautiful. Okay, so the problem I've been having is that I feel like sticking my finger in there is the way to get that really intense metallic pigment that I like. It doesn't have any fallout, which I love. But the minute I put my finger in there, I feel like I get so much. Just like with one little press of my finger, I press and swipe. And it's, as you can see, it's a lot. And I can get it to look like this. But then, because there is a lot that comes off on my finger and a lot that gets deposited on my eye, sometimes it settles into the creases of my eye. And the easy part is if I notice that halfway through the day, I can just, you know, go and do this and boom, it's gone. But I don't want to have to babysit an eyeshadow. My favorite thing about this is there's no fallout. No fallout. And you get this insane metallic, like, it's just so gorgeous. But I feel like I get too much when I stick my finger in there. I tried it with a brush, and when I try it with a brush, I get more of this look, which is fine, but I really want it to look like this every single time I put it on. That's what I want. So this is also in that I paid way too much for it. I don't know that I should have paid this much for it, but the shine, it makes me so happy with no fallout. So I'm willing to babysit it a little bit. I don't know. This is teetering on the edge of I paid too much for you, you can't be a favorite, and hello, I love you. So I picked up all 4 of the new Viseart Petit Fours for holiday. If you want to see that video, I will link it for you here. I try on all 4 in that video. Here's what I thought. The reason that I wanted to buy these is because I do have 2 other Petit Fours from last year. I love the formula. I love the cute little quads that they're just small and they're compact. I love that. I was worried that these were going to be a little more colorful than I was going to be comfortable with. But the one that really drew me in was this one here. This one's a garnet. And I was sure that this is the one that I was going to be using the most because it had kind of like that mid-tone brown, a coppery shade in there, and then that beautiful garnet burgundy shade, which really was like, yes, that's why I wanted it. And I have been using it. It just hasn't been my favorite. Another one that I thought I was going to fall head over heels for is this one here. This is the Peridot. Do I love it? Yes. But has it been the one that I've been reaching for the most? No. And I love these kind of really beautiful greens. I don't know. I've really been loving green eyeshadows in the last couple of years. I was sure that this was going to be like second favorite. These have been the 2 that I have used the least since I picked them up. The one that surprises me the most is this one. This one is called Bouillon because it has 3 golds in it. But normally I stay away from a black eyeshadow because it intimidates me. And I will tell you, I have used this quad multiple times since I got it. And every single time I reach for the black. And not just as eyeliner, because normally that's what I would chicken out and say, well, I'll just use it as eyeliner. No, I've been using it out here, smoking it out, bringing it into the crease. I have been loving this so much. I have surprised myself. I'm not one for deep, dark eye looks. I don't really do a smoky eye that often. I usually go with something really light like I'm wearing today, but I have used this so much, and it makes me super happy every time I pull it out. Love this. Now the one that I'm wearing today is this one. This is the Lapis. You'll notice that I'm not wearing this really intense blue here, which is beautiful. Earlier this month, I used it in the outer corner. Another day I used it as liner. Loved it, beautiful, but I don't always use this blue every time. Today I'm using the other 3 shades, a very light wash. I love the way these sparkles play. I think they're just beautiful. Love them so much. I feel like I'm glad I have all of these, but surprised that the one that has black and the one that has blue are the ones that I've been using the most this month. I'm almost out. I have been in love. I've been using these nonstop. So this right here is the one that I have used the most this month. It was half full and now it's almost out. I finally had to take, out of both of these, I had to take the stopper out because I couldn't get everything. Normally there's a stopper in here and product collects up around the neck. I didn't want that to happen anymore. I wanted to be able to get in there and to scrape down the walls and get everything I possibly could. I just can't get all the way to the bottom, but I'm not done yet, but I'm working on it. This one is from Beauty Pie. This is their Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil. This is their kind of clear sparkly shade. This is the shade Shimmerine. It's a clear gloss. There's a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's mostly, it's what I wear when I'm not wearing any makeup and my lips are feeling dry. I've been reaching for this. It's hydrating. It's not sticky. It's not, it says it's a lip oil, so it's not, but it's not greasy. It feels more lip glossy, but not sticky and stringy, which I like. This is my probably second favorite shade. I have 4 shades of this. Got the clear one, I've got this one and 2 more. This one here is called Spicy Pink, and it definitely has a little bit more color to it, but it's so pretty. I love the gloss that these offer the lips. They're very comfortable, very nourishing. And this is one that, you know, if I scrape down the sides appropriately, you'll see that I have very little left. I'm trying really hard to finish what I love. And I do love both of these, and I think I just reordered the Spicy Pink. I don't want to be without it. It's great. So this month I've been wearing either really sheer glossy sorts of lip looks, or I've been wearing more kind of nudie pink lip looks. And these have been my 2 most used liners this month. And I know it seems weird to mention liners, but it's the tones that I love. This is from Wayne Goss, the Essential Lip Liner. This is the shade Sepia. This is a little bit deeper, and I love, so pretty. I remember when Wayne brought these lip liners out, I got one and I was like, best lip liner ever. I still think it's a great lip liner, but this is my new favorite lip liner. And this is the Lisa Eldridge lip liner, the Enhance and Define liner. And this is in my favorite nude shade called Muse. So it is a little bit more pink leaning. It's not quite as dark, but the formula of these is to die for. I have 4 of these liners now. They're expensive. They're $25 a piece. I think Wayne's are only $14. $11 less than these guys, but when you put these on, they don't move. I've mentioned this before. I live in the state of Washington. There still is an indoor mask mandate. So on days that I know I have to go to the grocery store, I have to go in to get my hair cut, I have errands to run that are going to take me in a building, I always wear a mask. And when I do that, I don't want a big bright lip going on where I put it on and then I take my mask off and I have like clown mouth where the mask has rubbed up against it and now there's product everywhere. So my solution has been either to wear a clear gloss where if it gets outside of my lip line, no biggie, or to wear just liner. And I was like, you know what though? I want to wear red lipstick too. So the other day we went to church and I had to wear a mask inside. I wore this. This is the Lisa Eldridge lip liner in my favorite shade Ribbon. And I wore just this, and it was the most beautiful, full-on punchy red. Nobody saw it, but when I took it off, I didn't have a clown mouth, and I was like, I still can wear a red lip, yeah! So I've been loving these liners. I love the ones from Lisa so much, but this darker shade here from Wayne and Sepia, beautiful. With that Sepia lip liner, the first lipstick that always comes to mind for me is this one from Juvia's Place. This is the shade Kebby. Oh, I love it. I'm just going to swatch it down here. So it is a little darker. It is a little bit more vampy, but I love this. I feel like it's a really pretty matte lipstick. I feel like the formula is really nice. I find that Juvia's Place has good sales, and it's not an expensive lipstick, but it's definitely not inexpensive. What is it? I think $14. But when then you can get it on sale for half off, this is totally worth it at the full price point, but also especially when you can get it on sale. I love this so much. I've also been leaning into this lipstick here from Beauty Pie. This is their Future lipstick formula, but this is the matte one. And this one you can see is a little bit softer. This one's called Baby Beige. This is so affordable. I feel like this is a beautiful, beautiful lipstick. I have been wearing it a ton this month. And the other one that I've been wearing a lot that kind of surprised me because I didn't think I was gonna really love it is this. It's a Maybelline Super Stay Ink Crayon. This one, by the way, is called Enjoy the View. This one here is a little bit more pink in tone, and it's definitely a heavier lipstick than the one from Beauty Pie. But you can see I'm kind of going like for that kind of pinky, and then if I want something a little bit more punch, this right here. I really have been loving these lipsticks, and they're all three of them mattes. Other favorites for November. Diana Gabaldon released a new book. This is Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. If you've ever been a fan of her Outliner books, she has her new book out. I am almost done with this. It's 900 pages, and I haven't even had it a week yet, and I'm just like voraciously going through it. Love, love, love. And I've been kind of back and forth between listening to audiobooks so I can do other things, and just letting myself be decadent and sit down with a cup of tea and just read an actual book. But sometimes I feel like I need to be more productive. So I'll listen to an audiobook while I'm making dinner or while I'm doing housework or laundry or whatever. But have been loving taking time just for me to just sit down and read, because I can't do anything else but just read. So as I'm listening to an audiobook, I do spend a lot of time crocheting. Let me show you. I finally finished it. I've been working on this throw for a long time, and it is just like forever long, which I love, but it is a beautiful, if you happen to love yarn or crochet at all, it's a really fun but super easy pattern. It's a diamond pattern. I will link below the person who created this pattern, and it's a yarn eater. And if you're not a yarn person, it just means you just go through tons and tons and tons of yarn. I think there are 30 skeins in this throw, and I love it. And it's the Line Brand Woolies. So that's why I love listening to audiobooks, because I can be reading a book while I'm busy crocheting. But this is one of the things that has made me super happy this month. The one thing that I have left to do with this, and I haven't been really good about it, is to take the time to weave in all my ends. There's a lot of them. I should do it as I go along, but I just hate doing that so much. I need to finish it up because this is for my mom. I need to pack it up and ship it to her. She fell in love with it when she was visiting in October, and I was like, oh, I'll make one for you. And so I bought more yarn. I have more yarn to make one for me, but I think I'm gonna take a break from this pattern because it took me a long time. It took me 2.5 months, and I'm the sort of person who can knock out like a sweater in a week. So the fact that I've been working on this for 2.5 months with 30 skeins, you know, you have to, my mind, I'm not very focused. My mind has to be fully focused on this, or I get a bobble in the wrong spot and then I don't end up with the diamond pattern. Thanks so much for watching. I want to know what you love this month. What has been your favorite thing? It doesn't have to be beauty related. It could be a TV show you're watching. It could be a book you're reading. It could be an activity or a food item. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to hear all your faves for November. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being subscribed. And if you aren't, would you please have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.